So today we're going to dive into a story called The Heart of Flutterwood and the Song of Friendship. Now on the surface, yeah, it's a super charming tale about forest animals. But if we pull back the layers just a little bit, what we find is this incredible blueprint for how connection and community and just simple kindness can create something that feels like real magic. Let's get into it.
This right here, this is the final destination of our story. But for us, today, it's actually our starting point. We're gonna kind of reverse engineer this whole narrative to see exactly what building blocks, the characters, their problems, the magic moments, what it takes to get to a conclusion this powerful. So the big question is, how does a story build a light that never fades?
Well, it begins where pretty much every great story does, with a problem. To really appreciate the light, the story first has to introduce us to the quiet and kind of sad darkness of being alone. This contrast, this push and pull, is really the engine of the whole story. It sets the emotional stage and gives our heroes something they desperately need to overcome.
Okay, so let's meet our hero. In any story, the main character's journey kicks off with some kind of core conflict. And here, we're introduced to a squirrel named Nibbles. And what's really interesting is that his struggle isn't with some big, scary monster, it's with that internal feeling of being completely and utterly alone.
You can really see how the story builds this amazing tension through contrast. On one hand, you've got the forest, Flutterwood. It's vibrant, it's alive, birds are singing, rabbits are hanging out in pairs. It's a world of connection. But then you have Nibbles' world. He's physically in this lively forest, sure, but emotionally, he's in a world of one. And that disconnect, right there, is what makes us immediately feel for him.
So how does Nibbles break out of this lonely world? Well, every story has this moment. Sometimes it's called an inciting incident. It's that one little event that just shakes things up and gets the plot rolling. And for Nibbles, this moment isn't some huge dramatic thing. It's something beautifully and powerfully simple.
The catalyst for this entire story is this one simple, gentle question. That's it. It's just a small act of reaching out. When Nibbles sees another creature in distress, a hedgehog named Pippa, he chooses kindness instead of just, walking on by. This single choice is the first domino to fall, and it sets everything else into motion.
And this is where we see one of the story's big ideas. Kindness helps everyone involved. By helping Pippa, Nibbles accidentally solves his own problem. He was looking for a friend, and he finds one by offering to help. The story makes it so clear that helping others is often the most direct way to help ourselves. It's a win-win. Okay, so the story is starting to get bigger now. A friendship has been formed, but the story immediately raises the stakes. We get to watch this evolution, from just a pair of friends to the very beginnings of a community. And what drives that change? A new, shared problem. And this is where a new character comes in. Bruno, the gentle bear. He's not a villain or a threat. He's just another potential friend who needs a little help. His missing honey pot becomes the story's first real shared challenge. It's a quest that they can only solve by working together. The story basically gives us this simple, repeatable formula for building a community. It's like a recipe. Step 1, a new friend shows up. Step 2, a problem gets shared out loud. Step 3, a team comes together to tackle it. And Step 4, they all celebrate the win together. This structure is the engine that makes their bonds even stronger.
Sometimes a story shows you a theme, but this one, it comes right out and says it. Bruno states the moral of the story out loud, making it an official rule of their world. This line is like a moral anchor, cementing the idea that helping each other isn't just a nice thing to do, it's the fundamental principle of how Flutterwood works.
All right, so this brings us to the story's big moment, the climax. And what's so fascinating is that the climax isn't some big fight or a huge conflict. No, instead, it's a moment of pure magical revelation. It's presented as a direct reward for all the kindness and teamwork the characters have built. The magic at the center of this whole thing is the heart tree. But here's the cool part. Like all good magic in stories, it has rules. It only sings when it senses true friendship. So the magic isn't random, it has to be earned. It's a simple cause and effect, and the cause is their connection. And then it happens. The tree sings. And its song is it's the payoff for everything they've done. The lyrics spell out the story's core message. Kindness literally makes the world a brighter place. The song becomes the actual, literal sound of their friendship, tangible proof that their bond has a beautiful, physical effect on the world around them. So at the end of the day, what is all this magic really about?
It's a metaphor, right? The singing tree, the glowing lights. That's just the story's way of showing us an abstract idea, the warmth and the beauty that friendship creates. Their connection doesn't just change how they feel on the inside, it has an effect on the outside that makes their entire world better.
Okay, so let's look at how the story brings it all home. The ending really solidifies that core message, showing us exactly what's changed for our characters and what we're supposed to take away from their whole journey.
And it all comes down to this one number, 3. We have 3 totally different individuals, a lonely squirrel, a shy hedgehog, and a gentle bear. And the story makes a point to show us that they succeeded, not in spite of their differences, but because of them. Their unique strengths, when they put them all together, created something way more beautiful than any one of them could have managed alone. So if we boil this whole beautiful story down, what are we left with? Well, it's these 4 big ideas. It all started with one simple act of kindness. That kindness sparked the courage to help other people. And that led to building a community. And finally, that community created its own kind of magic, a light and a song that got rid of the loneliness for good. It's just a perfectly constructed, really satisfying journey.
And that brings us right back to the beginning. The story of Flutterwood isn't really just about animals in a forest. It's a model for how connection and kindness don't just change how we feel inside, but can have a real, tangible, positive effect on the world around us. Which, leaves us with one last question to think about. What song is your friendship making?